Now, hello everybody, my name is Krisha and welcome back to Skycast. And today we're going to be covering a few different things, including the end of hurricane season, which is November 30th, and then into some severe weather towards your Thanksgiving Day. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, we are going to be starting off strong today and into the nighttime hours with a marginal risk of severe weather towards portions of eastern Mississippi and into central and northern Alabama. This also stretches into portions of Georgia right here into Rome, Georgia, just west of the Atlanta metro area. And then we shift down here and we see another marginal risk of severe weather. This is for areas of Panama City, Apalachicola up into Bainbridge and Thomasville. And this is going to be for a two broken line of storms, actually, and this will continue through the overnight hours, actually will start after midnight. So if you are in this area, make sure you have multiple ways to receive alerts. There is a small tornado threat with this. This is at 2% for both areas. Not relatively too big, but a brief tornado and an isolated tornado will be possible. Damaging winds will also be a threat for this 65 miles an hour. And then towards the western side of this, some marginally severe hail, maybe a quarter of an inch, will also be possible with this. Now, as we are looking at the HRRR model, things do remain relatively calm throughout the evening and the afternoon hour, at the evening hours and the nighttime hours, but convection begins to pick up about 10, 11 o'clock. This is some light rain, some light precipitation ahead of that, and you can see back here towards Memphis, that line begins to form. Also, some stronger storms look to be popping up towards the Tupelo in the Florence area on the Tennessee-Mississippi border. This continues to form into a line, and then that's where we start getting into that environment for that severe storm area to start. This is going to be the line right here that we're going to be watching, and you can see some more of that line beginning to form off to the butt end of that, which is why we have that marginal risk exchange extended all the way down south towards Hattiesburg. And you notice down here, nothing has started yet. This is 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is going to be a very, very nocturnal threat. Once again, this looks to be more of a straight line of storms, so damaging winds is going to be your main your main threat through this. Hail on the other end and tornadoes do not look to be incredibly likely, but will still be possible. Eventually, this will die down, and then you're going to start shifting into the secondary marginal risk area where more storms are going to be popping out of the Gulf area. That is going, once again, Panama City, Tallahassee, Apalachicola. Once again, these aren't supposed to be relatively too insanely strong, but into the afternoon, into the overnight hours and into morning, that's where that threat's going to be for that damaging threat. So stay weather aware tonight. Have multiple ways to receive warnings and all that on your eve of Thanksgiving. But as we shift to Thanksgiving Day, concerns arise even more. If we're looking on the day two risks, the National Weather Service has highlighted a pretty big severe weather threat. This extends anywhere from eastern Louisiana on out into portions of North Carolina and Virginia, including Virginia Beach. This whole area has a threat for damaging winds and tornadoes. So this is going to be more of that something. This is not going to be a big threat, but even general thunderstorm areas, if you're expecting to go out on Thanksgiving, it's probably recommended that you don't. It's going to be rainy. Things of concern. If we switch that tornado threat, that marginal risk stretches all the way down to Louisiana, but that tornado threat not really extending that far. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina do look to be the greatest threat for these severe storms with the tornado potential. A little bit of that spin in the atmosphere. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, on down in Louisiana. Once again, that's where we have that marginal risk placed. That is going to be your greatest threat for wind. And then hail. Hail, not really a greatest concern, but once again, Georgia, South Carolina, more of an extension down into Florida. That will be your threat for hail. So this whole area does have a possibility to see some sort of severe storms. General thunderstorm risk could see some stronger storms as well. It's just depending on how that plays out. If we play out Thanksgiving Day, for the most part, everything doesn't, it remains fairly calm. Some scattered stronger storms towards areas of central Georgia. Actually, the HRRR is predicting pretty much one singular cell beginning to pop off towards that area, which could strengthen. That could, if it can remain discrete, could have that spin with it. Does not mean that's how it's going to play out. Just something interesting to point out with this model. But you can see this kind of this broken line of storms all the way down. And the HRRR is not going all out with intensity with this, which is why the National Weather Service has not upgraded this to a slight risk or anything. But as we get into the evening overnight, into the overnight hours. Sun sets here about 5:30, so that kind of classifies. We do have another area of storms beginning to pop up towards Tallahassee and Valdosta. And then that, once again, as that shifts east, that could pose another threat for damaging winds and perhaps a brief tornado with it. So overall, next 2 days are not looking too crazy, intense, anything wild. But once again, there's going to be a lot of people traveling. You need to remain weather aware and know what you need to do. Have that plan in place just in case something does end up happening for your area. Now, one thing that I do want to shift back towards a little bit and kind of point out is snow. A lot of people towards the Ohio Valley could see a white Christmas, not a white Christmas, but a white Thanksgiving. And you can see as we get into the evening hours tonight, we do have some of that blue, that freezing rain and snow mix beginning to pop up towards northern Illinois. This kind of shifts, and that's when those temperatures continue to drop, and that's when it becomes more intense. As this shifts through, anywhere between a dusting to an inch, maybe even upwards of 2 inches will be possible. Up here towards the northeast, though, towards Buffalo and all that, that is going to be your more greatest threat for this snowfall. Cooler temperatures up to this area, that snow will be more prolonged, and anywhere of up to 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches will be possible throughout this area. So happy Thanksgiving to those people up there. It's very not often that you get a white Thanksgiving towards these areas, but it will definitely be possible throughout the overnight hours tonight and in through the day tomorrow. So stay weather aware of that as well. And as we do zoom out and look at a bit of the tropics too, there is actively nothing going on that should be of a concern for the tropics. Once again, hurricane season ends November 30th into December 1st. There is convection obviously out here towards Cuba and all that. That's normal, but there's nothing that is going to be highlighting a spin through this atmosphere. It will be possible, though, highlighting for there to be some sort of minor development out here towards portions of the Caribbean once again. Not going to show it because it's not really worth showing, but the ensembles have highlighted a possibility of some spin towards the 29th. If anything, it will be a tropical storm. It's not going to be a hurricane. It's not going to be crazy, but some threats of rainfall and flooding towards Cuba and Haiti could be possible. So once again, not going to be anything to be worried about or be scared about right now. It's just something to continue to eye. But overall, I think we are pretty much done for hurricane season, and we're going to start shifting into tornado season number 2, as we've been the last few weeks, and into winter weather, which is going to be fun to track. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and choosing Skycast as your go-to weather. I've been covering things on X, but I do apologize that I haven't been as active here on YouTube. I've had an issue with my back. A nurse said it's like a sciatic nerve issue, but I am back up. I'm good to go, and we'll start uploading more here on YouTube as needed. So live streams. Another update with live streams. I've been debating on changing that over to X. So an occasional severe weather live stream will be possible here on YouTube, but more common on X due to a bigger reach out there to get the word out. Still debating that, but please let me know what you think in the comments. Have a great day, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next one.